And hello, I am the Godless Engineer. You can find me on Facebook. Just type into the search bar Godless Engineer or Godless Engineering. You'll find not only the page, but several groups that are attached to the page. Feel free to join any of those. Um, we have a really good group going. If you need support or just need a place to talk about your general life, it's not just atheist oriented material that's in the group. Just try to keep in mind Facebook's terms of service and everything like that, and try to be considerate of other people within the group. Also, you can find me on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram under the same banner, Godless Engineer. One thing that I wanted to start off talking about tonight is prayer. A lot of people, a lot of Christians rather, like to put a lot of stock in prayer and think that they're actually doing a lot of good with it. But I'd hate to say it, but you're actually not. Of course, everybody, every atheist would say that prayer does nothing because, of course, we don't believe in a God. But what really grounds it in reality are studies that we can do, like with prayer. Because if a God can actually have a real effect on our reality, then we should be able to test for that. We should be able to, set up some conditions and isolate certain variables and see how it affects it. One of the ways that we have done that in the past has been this study on prayer, and the setup for it was there were two groups of people that were going into surgeries, and one group was told, well, this group of people, you're going to have people praying for you to get better. And so they knew that people were praying for them to get better. And then there was another group, considered a control group, that didn't know that anybody was praying for them. It had no effect on them. So the only difference was that, and if I'm not mistaken, they had similar surgeries or the exact same surgery, but the isolated variable was prayer, and I guess the knowledge of being prayed for or whatnot. Well, the eventual outcome of the study was that the group that didn't know that anybody was praying for them, or prayer didn't come into the equation, actually did a lot better post-op than the group that that knew that people were praying for them. So prayer, it has a negative effect as far as this post-op goes, but it has a negative effect because of the emotional or psychological effect that prayer has on the person in their post-op situation. The people that didn't know or weren't being prayed for, of course, did better because they weren't relying on outside sources. I mean, they were relying on themselves to get better, and they were relying on the doctor's knowledge of the human body, of medicine, and everything like that. Whereas the other people, they knew other people were praying for them, and so they kind of put this trust in this deity that was being prayed to, that they were going to be getting better, or at least that's what it seems to indicate. I think personally more studies need to be done on this. It's a very interesting subject to do, but if you couple that with the fact that prayer doesn't really have any more effect than pure chance, it kind of makes sense. It goes with the prediction that you're not actually going to fare any better with prayer, but due to the psychological nature of it, it would make sense that maybe they would do worse, just because they, of the psychological nature. Now, I do have a personal story that is attached to this. See, I had my dad. He's still alive, but my dad went in for heart surgery. And of course, he posted on Facebook about how, when his heart problems were starting, when the doctor noticed them or whatnot, he called for prayers and whatnot. Well, at first, the doctor surmised that he was going to have a quadruple bypass on his heart. And through the power of prayer and this oh so merciful God, he downgraded it to like a stent, and or wait, no, hold on. Sorry, I got that backwards. It started out as him just needing a stent, and then it went up to a triple bypass. My bad. I got that mixed up. Sorry. But as he found out more about his condition, it just got progressively worse. So the prayer didn't really have an effect on him. Like it didn't make him get worse. Like the situation was already bad to begin with. It's just as they got more information, they were able to figure out what was actually wrong with him, what needed to be done, and of course afterwards. He had the moral and loving support of family members and whatnot, and of course people were praying for him and everything. But he seemed to do fairly well after that. But it's just the fact that he started off, if I remember correctly now that I'm thinking about it, he started off with only needing a stent, and then people were praying for him, and then it turned into a triple bypass. So it doesn't really seem like prayer is the best route to go for this. And so I would say that the hidden cost in prayer for this is it takes the focus off of real problems, and it makes you really focus on unreal solutions. And it might get you to not realize actual solutions to the problems when they're presented. I think that is really the problem with prayer in general. But again, this is just kind of opinion based, I guess. I know also, just to I guess play devil's advocate here, that prayer actually has about the same effect as meditation, like as far as being good for the person in general. So I mean, I don't think that prayer is all that bad, but I mean, if you're using prayer as a way to help somebody else out, you're really not doing anything for that person.
So we'll go ahead and get into the hidden costs of religion. Thank you, GE, for breaking down prayer. But I do want to mention something about that meditation has actually been proven to be more effective than prayer, because certain forms of meditation allow people to do different things like fight off diseases, lower or increase their body temperature, and that can have different effects on like common colds and things of that nature. Did you want to comment on that?
Well, yeah, the last I had actually read up on the comparison between meditation and prayer said that prayer had similar benefits to meditation. I guess it wasn't a direct comparison as far as them being equal, but I actually hadn't read up on that, so that's really interesting to know. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, there are a couple interesting, different little things there that you can research. Maybe we'll include some links in the comment section of people actually using meditation to physically benefit them, whereas prayer, as the godless engineer mentioned, if you're praying for someone else, the only person that it is probably benefiting, if at all, is you, with a psychological benefit. But for a person who is personally praying for themselves, the only thing that we've been able to ascertain is that it has some psychological benefit, although temporary.